I see the viewers have discovered our Frankerface Z implementation.
Nothing wrong with that. You know,
glad to see the use. I appreciate it.
It's quality posting by your chat right now.
I have a feeling by the end of this marathon, there's going to be a lot more channels that have the FFC emote of choice enabled.
Perhaps.
Okay, so here we go. Yoshi's Island Warpless, number 1 and number 3 in the world. Going to be representing at AGDQ. Taking part in a very unique race. I mean, it is the top 4 runners of the game that are going to take part, so that's really cool.
And just want to welcome one commentator. Assisting Golden on the commentary is Nightmare. Nightmare, welcome.
Hello, glad to be here.
Thank you for being here, doing some commentary for us. We are just about ready to go.
Yep, I'm ready if someone can give them the countdown.
Sure.
Yep, I'm working on it. Oh yeah, while we're setting up here too, we are $35 away from the halfway mark for the donation goal.
Oh baby.
And don't forget, if you donate $5 or more, you're entered to win that Yoshi's Island cartridge. I have it. I have that cartridge. It's a beautiful cartridge. Would go pretty great with the grand prize too. If you donated $25 throughout the marathon, you might walk home with the Super Famicom and Super Donkey Kong 1 through 3.
Alright, we are underway, so Golden and Moose are going to take it away, and let's enjoy this comfy Yoshi's Island Warpless race.
Alright, so this is Yoshi's Island, and start of the game you get this nice, like half-a-minute cutscene that's just nothing happening, mash through some text boxes, you know, standard stuff. Right away, when they get into the game, they're going to get into a tutorial level that you can just exit out of with like 0 penalty at all, so that'll happen very shortly. And then we'll get into the real game. So one of the most important things to know about speedrunning Yoshi's Island is that maximum speed is obtained really easily just by running to the right, and is or not, oh, there it goes, is obtained really easily by running to the right, but it is slowed on like any slope surfaces, which the game is full of. They're everywhere, so to to avoid this slowdown, they're going to be hopping everywhere. And in this first level, you're going to get sight of the first trick and extended flutter by bouncing off an enemy. Your next flutter will gain a lot of extra height, and then use it to skip a beanstalk. That's just like a bit of a time waste to watch it grow. So, coming up in 1-2 is a pretty unique skip. They're gonna take one of these flower enemies, spit them at the wall, and be able to jump off of them in the middle of the air to get above the level. It's pretty precise. I could not give you any exact data with frames and anything, but it's like frame perfect and kind of speed dependent, I'm pretty sure. It's really silly. So unfortunately, in races, situations, something like this can happen where one of the runners can get walled a bit by it, but he's up and over, and it's not the worst that could happen. We'll see. Since a lot of this game is based on like really optimizing a lot of short movements, it'll be not impossible for Poahr to just slowly make a comeback.
Yeah, and it's a long game too. I mean, this early lead might look like a big deal at the moment, but
there's also a number of other tricks that can easily lose like 10 or so seconds to bridge the gap. It would also be a good time to point out that Poahr is #1, has the world record for this category in the game, with a time of 1:42.03, and Yamayuu is not too far behind with a 1:42.54 seconds in third place.
Yeah,
And,
I was gonna say the really cool thing about that too is that the top 4 runners that are going to be running at HDQ are all under 1:43.
Yep, absolutely.
So within a minute,
HDQ 4-way race is the top 4 players, best players at the moment, within a minute of each other, all with 1:42s. I'm absolutely excited for that race. That's going to be cool.
It's going to be sick. Yeah. Now, of course, this all hinges on getting them there first. So if you guys are intrigued by that, if that sounds awesome to you, please consider pitching in here for JRTA and helping them get their flight and hotel covered.
Just like we had a $20 donation from Kessa Nezumi. He says, greetings from Japan. Take my money and time. Well, I appreciate both of those. Thank you very much for watching and donating.
Alright, so I'm gonna win this out now because someone saw it in chat. On Yamayu's screen, you might have seen him jump off of the pipe. It's called a pipe glitch. It is frame perfect. If you jump and press down in the same frame, you would just instead jump. That in itself is a bit of a time save, because you don't go down the pipe, you just jump off of it, and what really triggers the next screen is like the displacement. And this category is warpless, which in this level is the first level of warps. The name's getting from the fact that it bans 1-1 warping, which using like kind of a similar method, if you are in a screen transition, they base on where you're going based on where Yoshi's position is on the map. And if it is on a position that does not like correlate to anything, the game will default you to 1-1, and you will just finish the level from there, and you will get progress completion for whatever level that you entered. So in this one, you would skip Bert the Bashful here, the first boss in the game, where you just throw eggs, wait for iframes to run out, throw another egg, until he is completely pantless, embarrassed, and blows up. The typical like high school nightmare of giving a presentation and finding out you don't have your pants on, so you explode in embarrassment. Now entering 1-5 is something this game is infamous for in speedrunning. Really long auto-scrollers. So there's really not much going on here for another 3 minutes.
Yeah,
If you want to plug the marathon donations or anything like that.
Sure. So we currently are caught up with donations. However, as everybody can tell, this is the JRTA Marathon, where we are raising funds for 4 Japanese runners to get to Awesome Games Done Quick 2018. 2 of them are playing the game right now, Yamayuu and Poahr. So they will be part of the Yoshi's Island Warpless race, as Nightmare and Golden have been talking about recently. Also, not to be outdone is the other 2 runners that we're raising money for. That would be Shoka and Zaraki. So they will be part of the Mega Man 1 through 3 relay. So they will both be playing Rockman 2. So we are trying to raise $7,500 to get their plane tickets, hotels to come over here and perform. So we're definitely doing really well so far. We've nearly hit that halfway mark, a couple bucks short. And we're going strong. Good first day, but we're not there yet. We still have a long way to go. So please get your donations in. And hey, if you donate, you can get some pretty cool prizes like the awesome Yoshi's Island complete in box cart and stuff that you can get. It's $5. You have basically the next 8 hours in order to win that. Just a $5 donation. Hey, if you want something else, how about our grand prize? $25. You get yourself a Super Famicom. Also has the DKC, the Super Donkey Kong 1 through 3 series, as well as the controllers and whatnot. So pretty sick deal. So yeah, get your donations in. We really appreciate your support. Even if you can't donate, we appreciate you spreading the word. We have the hashtag JRTA4 on Twitter. You can always use that when tweeting. Just tell your friends, give us a host. Any support, whether it's you watching, we really appreciate everything. So yeah, stick around.
Yeah, worth noting too, those are drawings, by the way. It's not $25 gets you the grand prize. I wish I could do that. But
Oh, did I say, I'm sorry. Entered to win the grand prize. Forgive me.
I just wanted to make sure I covered myself legally there. I can't just give out, I wish I could give everybody a Super Famicom, but
I mean, I thought you could.
Also, on the note of hosting, something I do is I set my hosting to auto-host on priority, and this stream is at the top, so I should be hosting it throughout the whole weekend. And I think other people should do that too. It's really simple to do.
yeah, absolutely. A lot of people are watching the stream right now and saying, hey, I wish I could donate, but I can't do it. You can donate in other ways than giving money to the event. You can tweet about it. You can tell your friends about it. Hashtag JRTA4. And, just spread the word. Even if you host us on your Twitch stream, that would be great too. So the auto-scroller is over. We're back into the action here.
Yeah, one thing that I haven't touched on yet is that although they are beating the levels as quick as they can, at the end you have the scoreboard here. They want to avoid the coins and flowers as much as they can without losing too much time. Because if you collect 1 coin or 1 flower, it's half a second just for it to tick from 0 to 1, but if you keep it at 0, it's no time lost at all. It's really important on stages where red coins just are kind of in the way, but not exactly.
Yeah, for instance, the auto-scroller we just kind of watched, you'll see people playing a little bit of a game of dodge coin.
Yeah, as much as they're swagging and jumping around, they will be avoiding the coins and flowers. And the end of 1/6 here is also another beanstalk skip here. You take the ghost shy guy and bounce him off the wall so that it lands on the flower or the mushroom, and you get the extended flutter up there. One thing that's really cool about this game is how unique enemies seem. There's not just a standard bit that you'll see in every level. They're kind of spaced out. So in this level you'll have fuzzies and the roly bugs, and I know the fuzzies are in 3 stages. And Yamayuu is living the fuzzy life
Yamayuu's
right now.
getting busy.
I should mention that is slower naturally because the flat ground turns into slope, which slows Yoshi down, and you get a little delay whenever you do touch a fuzzy. And Poahr is making it clean out without any dizziness from his side. So the thing of common in 100% runs is skipping the bonuses, which in Warpless it's mainly done from not grabbing any flowers, but if for some reason the runners grab 3 flowers, they'll have to be worried about bonuses, because at running at max speed into the goal ring, it will end on the bottom right flower almost every time. I probably can't even think of any exceptions to that, but like any exception would just be you don't have max speed. Coming up in 1-8, and is this room where you have to hit these blocks to flip the platforms, and also get the key from the pot. They'll be shooting eggs to do that, just because it's really faster than getting Yoshi to hit them. Poahr right there stayed under the platform, but got high enough to load the block he needed to shoot, which is pretty tight actually to get. Also had a pretty good shot with the pot. So the second boss, Salvo, is a big slime, and like every other boss in this game, you'll be throwing eggs at him, but Salvo's interesting in that he doesn't have like iframes or anything. Okay, he does, but not triggered from hitting. So they'll be throwing them, and when he wiggles, he's invulnerable, and it is possible to get him before he wiggles once, but it is very difficult. But other than that, the general strat is to just get like 2 hits in, let him wiggle once, and then just finish him off. Or having a bit of trouble, but he finished it out nicely.
That was actually pretty clean, I think. Yeah, he made up a lot of time in World 1 there at the end.
Definitely, a lot of it came from the room with the key pot and the spinning platforms. I think not having to jump on the platform and instead gliding under it is a good time save.
Once again, I'm dying to know, as the person watching the donation total, who's going to be the person to get us to 50% of the total. We are a little less than $15 away from that happening. So who wants to be the person to push us over the halfway mark?
Who wants to be the one to donate $14.46? That's all it takes. So get your donation in. Thank you.
So coming up on Yamayuu's screen, he's gonna pipe glitch off of this pipe, and it's gonna give him enough height to hit the loading screen to go into the next screen as opposed to back down the pipe, which is kind of like a neat little save. 2 seconds, and it brings us right into another scrolling section with this blocks fall.
You know, I gotta point out too, I feel like screwing around in this room in particular, I've seen so many people die just doing that. It seems like an innocent enough room, but
yeah, it's really odd because Poahr kind of scared me out of there. Poahr did a thing. He prompted an egg throw. If the egg touches a block, it'll explode, but you'll still be like holding nothing. And it's kind of a neat little thing to show off here. Yamayuu making it pretty clean. There's some fly guys that come down. You take a shy guy in your mouth on one of them to clear out some buttons in the way, and then you get on top of the 1-up one and float over these blocks, and then just skip having to wait for them to come down.
And one of the neat things too about Warpless, as compared to something like 100%, I feel like 100% has a lot of stop and go, just because you're lining up a lot of different shots and kind of going into side rooms a lot more. You really will start to notice here in World 2, I think World 3 especially, just kind of the sense of pace that's in Warpless. You kind of get this sense of momentum.
As much as I don't like the term, Warpless does kind of fit the hold right and jump a bit more than 100%. 100% requires a lot more of being everywhere. So right here, Poahr just got hit to get the toady down so that he can skip another beanstalk here by Getting extended flutter. No, the Toadie doesn't skip the Beanstalk. Extended flutter off the Shy Guy does. The Toadie skips the Baby Mario section that's coming up. He'll spit it off the wall, get it on top of the pipe, and be able to make it across the section there. The spikes that you would normally need to go down, grab the Baby Mario star, and kind of just backtrack a bit, do a whole lap around the level again.
Our viewer is bringing up a good point too here. Poahr, bit of a Twitter power user. He's been known to tweet quite a bit. He's been doing it during the run. So if one of our mods can post the Twitters for Yamayuu and Poahr, let people follow them on Twitter as well.
Absolutely, let's take care of that right now.
This section Yamayuu just entered in the pipes is actually really interesting because there's a lot of back and forth to navigate down it. Watch Poahr, when he does it, he'll be tonguing walls every now and again because when you tongue a wall, it'll completely stop your momentum, which makes turning around faster naturally. So really fun section to do, and had a little fun with a ricochet to get the front plant. But yeah, this game definitely allows for enough time in between levels to do things like tweeting, type in chat, whatever. So at the start of 2-3 you have the Gusty section here, and while it may seem random, these Gusties are generally set into a pattern. If you get through the same speed, you'll see the same Gusties at the same spot. So they can route out how to get through them without losing much speed. And then these foam shots coming up are actually really interesting and cool to see.
Alright, well, we do have a couple of donations which have pushed us over that halfway mark. The winner who pushed us past the halfway mark goes to Ivan, who donated $20 and says, "Wow, did I do it? Did I get the halfway mark?" Put it towards Curly. Absolutely. Thank you very much, Ivan. And we have a $5 donation from Wand, so thank you very much both for your donations. And on the subject of Curly, we are less than $15 away from beating that. We only need $14 and let's see how many cents. 64 cents, $14.64. So get those donations in, we'll hit that incentive.
I gotta say, I don't think I've ever seen in my entire, I don't know, what, half a decade at this point of speedrunning, I don't think I've ever seen somebody tweet as much during a run.
This is quite impressive.
Poahr is going in right now on Twitter.
So let's get the latest auto-translate tweet. Let's see what we got here.
I think his confidence that he's the best of the game might be getting to him a bit. He just feels that he can tweet during the run, even when he's behind a few seconds. It's amazing.
I saw it. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no. On the screen, it's really important to point out the gate hack because it's the first instance of them. When you can have an egg die after it ricochets 3 times to get on the other side of the gate, and the gate will see the egg and open for it, which lets you navigate them backwards. So the way they do it is they jump up into the corner and throw an egg up, and it opens them. So that's skips most of the puzzle and the easy part of this castle. Yamayuu is entering the boo fight, which is another, just throw a bunch of eggs at the boss. But holding on to Mario tradition, the boo will be invulnerable if you are looking at him, so he will be ricocheting the eggs off the wall. And they're going to be careful to not create red eggs by ricocheting them twice, because they'll load 2 stars and it'll lag the fight a lot. But yeah, very good fight from Yamayuu. And we're seeing the same from Poahr.
A solid race so far, I think. Maybe 10-15 seconds difference at this point.
I love the frame Poahr got there, bonking on the ceiling.
Oh, and not to be outdone, not only is Poahr live tweeting during the event, he just decides to go ahead and just post in Twitch chat as well.
An absolute legend. So coming up here, 2-5 is a very fast-paced level that's full of a lot of moving things, and it might just be hard to follow if you really don't know what's going on.
Yeah, nice shell toss here on this screen to jump up to the first door.
To skip having to push the rock, they bounce shell and jump up into there. I think for high L's, in terms of warpless, this is like one of the most impressive looking, and it's also a very short level. It's actually really easy to just get hit by something, but these two runners are amazing. They've got through without too much problem.
Last Egg brings up a good point in the chat. How did the Yoshis get to their starting positions? You know, I thought about this, and then I realized that it's sort of like the Olympic torch, right? You got to have somebody stationed at every part of the world to carry the torch. So I'm just assuming like that's what happened.
See, one thing about that might be interesting is that means these Yoshis have like continental communication
Yeah.
technology. Yeah.
Hey, Yoshi's scarier than I thought.
How deep does the lore go?
You have to respect the lore.
So on this level in 2-6, it's kind of intended to be mazy a bit, but when you know the way out, it's pretty simple. Not too much happening in speed tech that's unique to the level. So,
Can we get an update, actually? Well, this is a good time. Can we get an update on the best anime bid war?
Woof, we certainly can. Let's take a look. Alright, this is an intense war right now. The best anime is between two choices right now. We have Inferno Cop with a respectable $5, but not to be outdone by King of the Hill with $25. Is King of the Hill going to be the best anime of JRTA4? Get your donations in if you like it, or maybe you don't. Where are those loyal Pi viewers at? That's all I gotta say.
I'm just like trying to figure out the progression here. How did we go from Pi last year winning best anime to potentially King of the Hill? That's just such a bizarre turn of events.
You know, the Pi viewers, they're just they're biding their time, seeing how things are playing out, waiting to see what the full picture is, you know?
They'll be here soon enough, yeah.
So a small thing that might have gone unnoticed on the screen with the falling rocks there is that the second falling rock, to get under it is a really tight window that involves like fluttering pretty precisely so that you can retain max speed to get under it in time. I saw Poahr get it, I didn't quite catch Yamayuu, and right here he's gonna get on the help box to skip the mole car because transforming into the car is slow, and then the car itself is also kind of slow. Unfortunately, most of the things that make this game, like the vehicle transformations, are going to be skipped over throughout this run, simply because of how slow they are. It's kind of unfortunate, but presents itself some interesting speed running opportunities.
Kind of talk to me a little bit about Warpless. I know everybody, you kind of go back to like the Tri-Hex days, and everybody's like, "Oh yeah, 100% is like amazing." But what is it about like Warpless that makes it a really cool category?
One of my favorite things about Warpless is that it kind of holds true to most speedrunning. You just run through the level as fast as possible, and while 100% is it's very impressive, this still holds a lot of its own values and stuff.
I feel like part of the appeal of 100% too is it's almost like watching billiards in motion. You know, like a lot of it revolves around lining up these really intricate shots. And just visually, that's very appealing. And then you get this completely different dynamic in Warpless where, I mean, yes, you do occasionally do some nifty shooting like that, but for the most part, there's just more an emphasis on the speed.
Yeah, so right here, they're going to be shooting the spot to mostly line up these bomb-dropping ghost shy guys so that the bombs won't even come close to them at all, and they can get the key without a problem.
Right, we have a very important update. So we had a recent tweet from Poahr, and Auto Translate says, comments from runners at the audience ago the natural obligation. I think he's calling out Twitch chat. I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing. It's your interpretation, chat.
I don't even know if this might be aimed at me, and I'm kind of nervous a bit.
Damn.
Thank you, used pizza.
Thank you, moderator used pizza.
Thank you.
For using the combination of sword and checkmark.
So right there, Yamayuu lined up an egg shot into the spike block so that it kind of bounces in the ceiling. Poahr got it too. It like hits the ceiling and the block and back to the ceiling to hit the question mark underneath it. It's something that'll probably go undetected because the alternative is the egg just bounces completely away from the question mark cloud underneath of it. I think that's a really cool trick though. So coming up here is the first boss that throwing eggs at will not work. Roger, the ghost plant, will be spinning fire at them. They will... the fastest strat currently discovered is you push it a little bit, and while spinning this first cycle of flames, you get back. They jumped into him to have him push back, but it manipulates the fires into just not being in their path at all, so they can push him off the edge without anything. And for the sake of speedrunning, the ground pound off the edge swag is actually unoptimal, and if you scroll the screen up, the boss will explode a bit quicker.
That's the worst, because I loved seeing that in runs. People used to do that all the time, and now they have a real reason not to.
In Warpless, you don't grab save rings, so you have to do the whole level again. It's like 3 minutes lost, so I'm quite fine seeing it be foregone. Like,
I mean, I don't blame them for doing it that way. Yeah, it's just it was kind of a cool thing to see.
It's still such a super cool thing if they do it, because sometimes Yoshi doesn't get into the keyhole all the way. That's how you know that they were like 5 frames from dying or something. So in World 3, we get an introduction to these monkey enemies, and they're kind of just like bouncing around having a good time. One kind of thing that they're going to be wanting to avoid is that these monkeys can just snatch Mario off of Yoshi's back, which will make them have to go get Mario back. It's a loss of time. It's probably not going to happen. These runners are good, and avoiding them isn't the toughest of tasks, but these monkeys are not as innocent as they look hopping around.
This is actually an interesting point too that the chat's bringing up. Like the hasty versus patient control schemes too, and Yamayuu playing on patient.
I actually cannot believe I missed that completely. I'll explain the control schemes. There are 2 major control schemes evolved around the egg throwing. You can either be patient, where you have to press the egg throw button twice to prompt the egg throw and then throw it, or hasty, which you hold it and release to prompt the egg and throw it. And yes, they are on different ones.
Well, not to be outdone, Yamayuu has now himself entered the Twitter live tweeting during a race game. So he's also entered the fray. So let's see what both of them can tweet it, or maybe at each other, perhaps, during the race. You know, put a little trash talk via Twitter during the race. I want to see it.
I'm glad the runners are having fun doing this run.
Yeah, I'm glad they're enjoying it. And you know what? I bet, if I had to guess, I would bet that they're live tweeting about us and just saying, you know, how goofy we are. That's all I really want. I want somebody to tell me that one of the tweets is like, man, that golden commentator, he doesn't know anything.
I can't
glad
wait
you
for
said
them to have their phones out during the AGDQ race. Just have it at their side, tweet out in between.
Just live tweet
level.
like during AGDQ. That'd be so sick. Why are you glad? Why are you glad I said that?
That was the perfect segue into this live tweet by Poahr, and I can get what this is saying. It's not at you directly, but it makes sense. It says, of tweets to only watch the fun. Ah? He's in it to get the reaction.
It is. And I mean, that's really what it's all about.
I like it.
I'm really glad we have an expert in deciphering these, what is it? Twitter uses Bing Translate. For,
Oh yeah, thank you, Bing.
Yeah, because you're reading those and I'm just hearing just words thrown together. I'm not quite understanding it completely.
It's about the subtlety. It's about the magic.
Okay, so
Reading the words.
So right here, is actually a recent discovery for Warbless to skip the helicopter bubble that you would need to fit through that one tile gap. They spit a monkey against a wall and crouch on the muddy platform, which will slide them off, and they'll stay crouched, bounce off the monkey, and slide into the one tile gap, and stand up, and will just push him out of the wall. And I'm really glad that they both got it, because I'm actually not really familiar with that, but I'm sure that it requires a pretty decent setup.
Yeah, that's actually the first time I've seen that. That's pretty cool.
Actually, while we're on the subject of Poahr's tweeting during the run, that was one of the first times I've even heard of him as a runner. He would tweet out these really cool optimizations for some of it, for some levels, and they're just like things that I don't think I would have ever thought of myself. I don't want to like try to miscredit anything, but I think I'm trying to think of something that he specifically came up with that I know of for sure, but I'm gonna draw a lot of blanks on that. Kind of missing out on like commentating a lot of specific things on the run, but sometimes they're just a bit too fast for me to catch.
Oh, you're doing a fine job. Keep it up.
I mean, outside of like basic movement of maintaining max running speed, there's really not a whole lot of specific things coming up. In this level, they'll be removing these foam and then waiting for the spike ball platforms, and during this section you kind of get the first real glance of chaining these extended flutters. It's, I believe, a 3-frame window to not lose height, and you can gain height on tighter windows and all. And fluttering over the water there saves actually a really small amount of time than just diving in and just swimming across. Yoshi's actually a pretty fast swimmer. And then in this section, they'll need to take out this crab that's really just blocking the entire pathway with 3 eggs. And this room, which looks really scary because those spikes are an insta-death.
Yeah, and those platforms are really easy to just slip off of too.
It's like more or less the one tile platform. I don't think they get thinner than that, and everything surrounding those platforms is an insta-death. So, well,
It's an interesting fight here because I think it's a chance for Poahr to pass Yamayuu again.
This fight specifically, yes, there's actually this really like deep calculation into how damage works on this fight. So the frog will swallow them, and you're gonna have to wait for these shy guys to come down to throw it to the uvula. And it depends on like the position and speed that you hit it at. It is possible. So like recently when all the work was done for this boss fight, they found it's like humanly possible to do number of eggs the task does it in. I believe that's 5. I really want someone in chat who runs the game to confirm this. And that, I believe right now they're both getting a 6-shot fights.
Man, if this is any indication of the
got
type of
5
race we're
shot.
gonna
I
get,
was not counting.
sorry, forgive me. I was just gonna say, if this is the indication of what we're gonna get at AGDQ, a couple seconds separated between the two, 36 minutes in, that's pretty damn insane.
I think it's going to be an indication, but you can double it because I think all 4 of them are going to be neck and neck the whole way. It's going to be really good. It's really interesting just thinking about the level of competition in this game and how you know, like usually in a lot of games, you know, you have one kind of clear top player, and you know maybe a couple other people chasing that person, and I feel like in this case here, like yes, you've got like a definitive number 1, but this is one of those races and one of those games where like any of the 4 people who are playing could win, which isn't always the case in a live setting like that. So I think it's going to be pretty interesting,
especially in this game where you can like easily just bleed time all over the place. Just like getting hit is a couple seconds. You can lose max speed easily by not jumping optimally. At the end of 3-5 here, Yamayuu bounced off of a shy guy that wasn't seen over the screen, and it's something that's like kind of supposed to be like, oh, he's about to die, but he didn't. It's really cool. Actually, yeah, right there, Yamayuu had a red coin. He had 11 on that level, while Poahr got 10, so that's another half a second to close the gap.
Is that Nightmare on commentary? No, that's actually Moose.
Yeah.
Often mistaken.
I'm gonna be like coming out this time kind of out of date with this run because I just saw Poahr's ahead.
Yeah, he took the lead.
Whoa. No, I watched his bottom route there, and I thought he might have messed up because he killed the rat that you would have expected him to bounce off of, but he still hadn't descended flutter and had the height.
A couple of lead changes already in this race. Pretty good.
I kind of blinked a bit on that level and missed most of the action. I'm sorry guys, I'm supposed to be commentating here.
Get it together, man.
Yeah, this level's kind of fun. I get to bounce on these shy guys stilts to avoid the water. They also spit out a monkey. Poahr got through very cleanly, and I guess Yamayuu have saved the monkey later, and I don't know if that's a backup strategy actually.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if he got tripped up there or if he was doing it on purpose.
But yeah, this is like one of the levels that kind of exemplify how like warp this is as a category. A lot of really clean movement through it, using the enemies to your advantage to just like avoid the water, avoid slowing down at all costs.
Yeah, there's a lot of these hallways too, especially in World 3, where you just kind of got to be a little bit of a sneaky snake. It's very unforgiving if you're just slightly too high or you don't jump quite the right distance. It's like, there you go, you just see like a little hiccup there for Yamayuu, and Poahr extends his lead a little bit.
Yeah, again, that's one of the things with this game. One hit that's just a couple seconds, and now the gap's increasing because Poahr's taking the lead.
So forgive me if I just wasn't paying attention, but how do like the skipping the bonus challenges work?
Do you want me to explain it fully? Because in Warpless, you skip them by not grabbing flowers at all.
Perfect. That's all I need to hear.
Yeah, as long as the flower's not on the wheel, you don't have to worry at all.
Even if you grab one flower, though, it's set on a cycle so that it spawns. The wheel will spawn at the same spot, and if you run to the goal at max speed, it'll land on the bottom right flower. But you need to grab 3 flowers in order for that to actually be a bonus, which in Warpless, that's really slow. You lose time for doing that. Outside of the bonus, you lose time for doing that, I should say.
Well, some really nice movement there from Poahr to get around that hallway.
Another cool section of like this small corridor. One thing about the like block ghost that Yamayuu just got past, they try to hit them as they're expanding so that they stay small instead of growing full size small. And this boss is the 10th shred. You hit him before Kamek even arrives. Says, "Oh my!"
That was all it was.
English version.
Yamayuu caught up a lot there because I think Poahr had to land on the platform.
Yeah, you can see Yamayuu's in the water, which means he hit him with the first egg, which clearly is much faster than having to be really safe because most runners carry 2 eggs into the fight. And you know, if you don't hit the piranha plant while he's small, then you have to go through the fight, and that fight is like a lot of downtime for next to no reason.
This race is syncing up pretty good. I like it. We're 3 worlds in. Anybody's game. Ladies and gentlemen,
this is something about Yoshi's Island races. They're very back and forth.
Very back and forth. Yeah, we've got a long way to go still, too. Let's just quickly remind the audience here that these are 2 of the runners that you are donating for to attend AGDQ. So please consider donating here if you're getting any entertainment out of the stream at all. Even a couple dollars helps. I know it sounds cliche, but really the small donations do add up pretty quickly. So please consider giving to help cover their travel costs to HDQ.
Just like we got a $10 donation from MT who says, Yoshi full, Yoshi full, Yoshi full. Thank you very much for that donation. And by donating $10, you actually need to donate $5. But by donating that much, he's entered to win the pretty cool complete in-box Yoshi's Island. As you get a copy of the game, you get the cool instruction manual and the sweet box, which, may I say, the Japanese artwork for this game is absolutely fantastic. So, yeah, you have the next 7 hours to donate to be entered to win that cart, so only costs $5. So get your donations in.
Yeah, I kind of missed my chance to mention that was the second fuzzy section of the game, and they both did hit fuzzies. It's a bit unfortunate, but it's not the easiest thing to avoid fuzzies, and sometimes avoiding fuzzies was just much slower than just running into the face of one of them.
One difference I noticed there too, when they were going to grab the star, it looked like you kind of see that patient controller scheme coming into play. Yamayuu kind of had to stop and line up the shots, and you're able to see kind of Poahr lining it up as he was falling.
Yamayuu with that hot Baxter right there, he juggled an egg because for some reason there's a ceiling above the level. And if you juggle the egg far enough on the goal ring, the next Yoshi will grab it at like no loss. You will have the egg in the next level, which is good because he had 2 eggs there. And then it didn't really matter actually that yellow egg's the one he Baxtered. This is going too fast for me to even keep up, man.
Yeah, really smooth execution from both players here. You know, we talked about this being a race at HDQ that's going to feature the top 4 runners of the game, but I believe it also features 3 continents, if I'm not mistaken.
You are correct.
Because we got Calco from South America. I think, is Coulter from the United States?
Yes, Coulter is going to represent America in this race. Another Baxter coming from America. I really like seeing those. They're really cool. They hold like no value in terms of speed running, but they hold value in my heart, which is all that matters to me anyway. But yeah, back to the 4-way race at AGDQ that this event is going to be helping to help these two runners specifically get there. It is from more of a global race setting. These two from Japan, Coulter from the USA, and Calco from South America. Even looking at the leaderboard here, Calco's kind of a new name that's risen up recently. And he's in the second spot. He won 42 guy a couple weeks ago, actually.
Yeah, interesting thing about Calco too. I mean, he's got the Super Mario World background. You know, it's not just Yoshi's Island. I mean, that's kind of the new addition, but Super Mario World was kind of his domain too. So, kind of owning the whole series, I guess, if you want to consider it that.
It's a good way to think about it. I like that. So coming up here on the next fort, Mills Fort, is this really a long level that involves them having to go through 4 different paths to get 4 keys to get to the boss. The order of the doors is mostly in the top right room you'll be entering first. You want to have 6 eggs, and if you're carrying a key, it limits the total number of eggs you can have. So you want to hit that room first, have all the eggs you can. There are a lot of like Tetris blocks that you need to break. I don't know why I said Tetris. Tetris is the wrong game. They're like breakout blocks. They're going to be skipping this initial mid-ring so that they can have it on the way back, which is the safety strat. Yeah, as you can see right here, Poahr just throwing all the eggs to create a path to run through. A little thing in the foam, there is a question mark block. So they line up the egg in a way that it'll clear the foam out. Yamayuu just straight up despawned the question mark block. I didn't even know that was a thing. I guess I'll mention that. One really cool thing about this game is the variety you can have in strats that, like, the difference will be frames maybe sometimes seconds. And it really shows, like, individuality in the runner's personality and preference.
Yeah, there's a ton of different ways to tackle the same room, and it's kind of like maybe, I don't know if this is a good example or not, but like Super Metroid was like that for a while. I don't know if it is as much anymore with it being more optimized, but you can kind of almost figure out who you're watching based on what you see going on the screen.
Yeah, it is mostly the same here. And again, after completing 2 rooms having 2 keys, they get the appropriate mid-ring. We'll see if they're gonna try for the lava skip here, which is you just skip this bucket and it's stupidly precise and probably never worth it in an RTA setting. IL setting is ideally where you want it, but I know sometimes people would go for that for fun, but it's probably best not to. Also being corrected that it is a slow strat.
All right, I want to propose a donation challenge to the chat. Here is my challenge. Can we get the donation total to 4,000 by the end of Yoshi's Island?
Oof.
Can we do it? We are $230 away.
That's a spicy challenge, but There's one group of people that can do it. I believe in the viewers of JRTA4.
They've made it happen so far. Let's keep it going.
Don't let me down.
I want to throw out that if everyone in chat donated just a single dollar, that goal would be reached easy peasy. I also want to point out that the Mild boss fight coming up here is pretty cool. They'll have to ground pound Mild, and every time they do that, they'll split into half until you have a bunch of small-sized Milds that will be cleared out on the eggs, but at the same time, they're going to try to ground pound Milds at the same time. So Poahr got a single double on it. He throws an egg to try to line up a triple, and we'll see if Yamayuu can do better. Oh, pretty similar fights from both of them. Very clean with a ricochet egg shot to clean out all of the small melts.
And again, just a reminder too, $5 or more donated during this run will enter you to win a complete in-box copy of the Super Famicom version of Yoshi's Island. Ooh, a little uncharacteristic there from Poahr.
It's a bit unfortunate, he really needs to bounce over that shy guy to get over this ball. So it's a bit more of a time loss than just any other normal hit.
Wow.
I take the roly-poly melon bugs in the mouth to get a nice speed boost from them.
Do we have a quick second?
Go for it.
That was the easiest challenge beaten of our lives, because Stray Varus just donated $250 and said yes. So that was really good. Thank you very much, Stray, for that donation.
Wow.
And with that donation, we have hit $4,000.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Straverus. Also, if you want to put that towards any incentive, let us know.
I think I saw I Got Bored was asking about that. Did you guys correct that for him? I think he wanted to put his donation towards something.
I would have him mention it to us in chat again. We might have missed it. All right, well, I guess I gotta get a new challenge now since the 4,000 got met. All right, if one person can get us to 4,000, then the rest of the chat can get us to 4,500. Let's do it.
There we go.
I think you're thinking a bit small there. Why don't we just finish the goal before the race?
Just finish the goal in Yoshi's Island. Okay,
Sure, why not?
let's do it. Why not? Then I can go to bed and we can switch the donations over to charity. See, this is the best part, by the way, when we get large donations like that. You get comments like what Ivan just said in chat. I got up to go get a drink and I come back and we're at 4K.
I'm telling you, man, it's just like the lead change that happened when Poahr got ahead. You blink and you miss it.
You really do. It's you gotta be here. You know when I realized that the most though this marathon so far? It was during Bunny Swordmaster. I don't know what happened. I zoned out for about 3 seconds and the run was over.
It was a good run.
It was a good run.
All 59 seconds.
From what I've heard. So yes, did we get a donation incentive choice from Straverus?
Yes, he put it towards Mario Party 2.
Oh my goodness, what is the score?
The score currently is Mario Party 2 is in the lead at $368.88, and Mario Party 3 is at $120.69. So it's a pretty significant lead. He put Mario Party 2 in, but you know what? No lead is too significant. That's all I'll say.
Alright, so right now Poahr has set up his egg count in a way that the chicken is a specific spot because they're going to go for a chicken mixer where they're going to try to take the chicken out of 7, which the game normally doesn't let you do. But if you do set it up correctly and hit a Frankfurt trick on the goal ring, the chicken will be preserved. Unfortunately, he did not get it. We'll see if Yamayuu can hit it. Yeah, so neither of them hit it, unfortunately, but the chicken is very helpful on following the boss, and it also kind of creates a glitch sprite. Unfortunately, we won't be seeing that here.
So we have 2 important updates. We had a $4.64 donation, $4.64 donation from Mudkip guys. Let's get those panties. So with that, we have met the incentive for Cave Story. We will be getting those panties. So good job, guys, for donating.
Is this the part where I say like, yeah, or is that? I don't know how to react to that.
We hit an incentive. We're getting some panties. Also very important. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Nightmare.
I was going to mention that right there, they tried to skip through the spike ball falling down by pushing a shell, which gives Yoshi some weird iframes and lets him move through it. Not the best person to explain how that works exactly, but it's something they tried to go for and they got hit and looked kind of silly doing it, in case anyone was wondering about that.
And we also had a $5 donation from Double Stop, a V2 Stop that says hi. Hey. Thank
Hi. You. Can I get a high chain in chat? It really make my day.
You're the man. Answer the call.
By the way, anybody who's been donating and hasn't put it towards an incentive yet, you can still do that by just letting us know what you wanted it to go to in chat. We've had a couple of them come through here, I think, without incentive choices.
So the beginning of the boss fight kind of begins on this fog screen. It's actually an endless platform, but you can speed it up by trying to get Yoshi towards the middle of the screen so that the screen moves to the left less and creates less blocks. So a little time save there before the boss fight begins. And on the boss fight, they're going to need to hit 4 eggs to make Hookbill vulnerable and ground pound. And after 3 ground pounds, he will be finished. And since it requires a lot of eggs to do that, Hookbill for some reason has a stomach of infinite eggs. It's pretty suspectful to throw him off at any hit in the head. Kind of worry about him a bit. And the cool thing in Yoshi Island speedruns is that if you ground pound him while he's still in the air, you'll get a nice hop off, and as you see on Poahr's screen, Yoshi just flies to the moon.
Good swag.
Glad to see this one's still in the run, by the way. If we can't have the falling off the screen, we can still have the blast off.
Blast off is always fun. An important thing to note that you always want to do it like facing right, because if you face left, you can actually like kind of self-block the game and lose minutes for no real reason.
I have an important update for you, Nightmare.
Hit me.
Poahr said hi.
As part of the high chain?
Yeah.
What? Oh, I was hoping
Nice.
you could get it out, dude. That.
Into World 5 we go, Poahr with a lead. It's been back and forth most of the way so far. Nobody with any major mistakes throughout this run. It's been kind of back and forth, occasionally, running into an enemy or something. Actually, for Poahr, I think the biggest issue has just been some minor execution things with some of the jumps. Yamayuu's been able to make up time.
I think the biggest thing might have been like what I think might have been like a controller issue at the beginning of the race.
I think
also 1-2 skip was really poor for him. Yeah.
Yep. I think they did some sort of like gentleman's agreement. It sounded like because Poahr had started early. I think he had waited a couple seconds. Not in that particular level, but I think that was at the start of the race.
In the cave section that Yamayuu's in that Poahr got out of is pretty precise. You throw eggs to break these icicles that are in the way. And that's like another screen that I think it's pretty easy to get a hit in.
Yeah, World 5 especially. I mean, these first couple levels are just nasty.
World 5, yeah, World 5 is like the kind of, if you're new to the game, this is the world you're really gonna want to stick that practice in. Especially these first 4 levels.
The ice and the snow terrain, and a lot of these levels have just enemies flying at you from off screen, and if you don't know where everything is and what you're doing, it can start costing you time pretty quickly.
Right there, Poahr did one of the really tight windows on repressing a flutter to actually gain height and get just enough height to clear the gap. They do bring one of the bumpties in case get the extended flutter off of in case they do miss it. But they both got through pretty cleanly.
All right, I got to call the chat out here because they're slacking a little bit on my donation challenge.
Uh-oh.
I want to see 4,500 by the end of this run. I think we can do it. If everybody who said hi in the chat donated $5.
Don't do this to me, man. So 5-3 is like especially notorious for being a very deadly level essentially. On this first screen it's pretty simple to get above these ice blocks. Coming up there's some more insta-kill spikes that are pretty easy to hit because you are on ice, and the fastest strat is to either shoot them out of the way with pretty precise egg shot or duck onto them. And you'll see Poahr coming up on that real soon. Also optimizing the height gain in that section is a bit tricky. And he hit the egg shot cleanly, got the 2 spikes out of the way so he could just run through.
Oh, Yamayuu got caught under the platforms there.
But those snowmen can be pretty tricky at times, and they're a bit slippery a bit with how they push Yoshi around. But you know, at the end of 5-3 you get to relax a bit and have a little fun skiing down. Bit of an auto-scroller section, although there are some jumps you can hit, like jumping off of slopes will preserve some speed that saves some time. But other than that, it's pretty auto-scroller-like.
Well, at least one person answered your call, Golden. With a $5 donation from Hagspam who says hi. So thank you, Hagspam.
Thank you, Hagspam. And hello. I gotta say, it's pretty. I was gonna say it's pretty crazy. I got my words mixed up. It's pretty crazy that you know, we're sitting here on day one. I mean, we went live what about less than 12 hours ago.
10 hours ago.
Yeah. And we're sitting here at 4,000 race already. I mean, this is really good. We still have a little ways to go, obviously, to meet our goal, but everybody has been pretty generous so far. And we greatly appreciate that.
So 5-4 has... do you want to actually finish your thought?
Oh, I was actually going to lead right into what you were saying, so go ahead.
Alright. So 5-4 has probably the most difficult, like, major time save trick. And 2 screens before the boss, there's a long auto-scroller section where you ride a ghost platform all the way around. And it is possible to flutter under it and manipulate some bats so you can get the height that you need to get on the ending platform. Yamayuu is scaring me a bit because those spikes are insta-kill, so he managed to recover nicely. But yeah.
I remember talking to, I think it was Crispy, about this trick in particular and the amount of effort that goes into learning it. And I remember he had said something about putting in about 50 hours before he had even been able to hit it with any sort of frequency. You know, it wasn't even just like, I'm consistent at it now. It was like, oh, I'm actually like able to get it when I sit down and try and do it for some period of time. So it's going to look, I think, a lot easier than it actually is. It's pretty brutal. I mean, it doesn't look easy to begin with, but yeah, this is definitely one of the harder tricks that has ever existed, I think.
Yeah, not only do you have to maintain your fluttering height, but you also have to manipulate these bats in a way so that they're a little friendlier. The Poahr's taken the Shy Guy route, so he'll have a Shy Guy in his mouth. You can skip him, but you just requires a bit more consistent fluttering. There's like no shame in doing what Poahr's doing. But yeah, you can tell these guys are pretty good at fluttering. Like the bats are, they stay visible on the screen, which is really good. Poahr gets it first try without like what looks to be any difficulty.
Yeah, I don't feel like he was ever in danger there. He made that look pretty easy.
Yamayuu is in a bit of a tough situation here.
I think he might have done that on purpose just to give that other bat a lead here, but we'll see.
I don't know.
Oh no.
He might respawn now. There is a backup he can try for. With his single egg, he has to hit the Shy Guy and get hit in a way.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
And he... Does he get it? No! Oh, he was so close.
If he chained, like, really tight flutters, he could have gained the height, but that is nothing that you can expect from runners to do consistently.
No, but that was about as close as you can get. I mean, he was a couple pixels away from getting that.
So I assume at this point, for like all the top runners, it's mandatory to go for this.
Absolutely, it's... I really just want like empty or someone to give me the exact time, but it is probably about a minute and a half of a time save.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy to think that all of kind of what leads up to this level it's kind of posturing, but that this is going to be a decider in a lot of ways, I think, at the AGDQ race too.
I mean, Poahr in like World 6 could die somewhere, and the gap can just be closed from that, but that's kind of like a rare occurrence. Yamayuu is just gonna run the platform. I don't, or is half skip? Okay.
Gonna do the halfy here.
Yeah. Something you can do is get to that bullet bill so that this initial stretch of fluttering is shorter, and that's... yeah. Something I feel like that some runners can fall into is like a loss of confidence if you mess it up. Very impressive that he made it up there still.
Yeah, I mean, again, not in a great situation there, but he worked his way out.
Now he has one of the bats off the screen, and he's gonna have to use the bat in the back to guess where he is.
It's looking good this time.
Yeah.
There he goes.
I think after getting the like Shy Guy part, it's pretty simple outside of dropping a flutter, which like it is very possible people do it. It's really not an easy feat to chain flutters super consistently.
Well, while we have a second, we have a couple of donations here. I have a $5 donation from somebody named Nightmare. Never heard of that person. Says hi. And then we also have a $5 donation from Roku. Who says hi. Hello. Well, we appreciate you guys saying hi, but you also can put your donations towards something if that person named Nightmare wants to do so, and Roku. So just let me know in chat. You can ping me.
I guess I completely missed the 5-4 false explanation. A big slug with the heart in the center. You have to hit the heart 4 times. And normally you would have to like just throw a bunch of eggs towards him to get the heart vulnerable and then hit the heart. But speedrunning, you can have it set up to kind of load Sluggy onto an egg in a way that it's on his heart, and you can just use 4 eggs, hit him 4 times. So not a super easy thing, but it's kind of like a rhythm thing, where if you kind of miss one of the eggs, you fall off the rhythm, and I'm kind of ashamed I kind of missed the other ones a bit. Yamayuu skipping the helicopter bubble that is kind of expected in this screen here. He gets it done.
Yeah, really nice.
Very impressive. I actually think that saves like a second or two, but still. Poahr isn't the longest auto-scroller in the game, so... Yeah, both meet on 5-6, even though it's like a 100-year-long level.
Alright, I know we heard about this recently, but I need to hear it again. What is the current Mario Party bid war situation looking like?
Well, the current Mario Party bid war situation is we have $368.88 for Mario Party 2. And Mario Party 3 is $125.69. So it's a good number, but it's not good enough to take.
Not good enough. That's right. So if you want to see Mario Party 3 at the end of this marathon, that's something to start donating for.
Oh, it does happen at the conclusion of the marathon, so it is the final game, a bonus game, if you will, right after Dragon Quest 3. So you do have some time to donate for that, but not that much time, so...
I'm sure the battle will rage on.
But more importantly, we do have some upcoming incentives that you should donate to if you are so inclined to do so.
Okay.
We have the Mega Man 8 Bid War, which comes up right after Cave Story, I believe, or shortly after. Mega Man 8 Bid War, so we have the Sega Saturn version or the PlayStation 1 version. The Saturn version is in the lead at $120 to $41 on the PlayStation. So, you know, it's close. You know, not that far away. We could easily have a couple of donations to shift that. But if that's not your thing, we have the La Mulana Classic. We have the incentive of Snatcher Dating Sim. I don't know what it is with like panties and dating sims in this marathon, but we have that. It's there. $200. You know, we need that's at $30, so we need 170 more. So get your donations in for that if you're interested in a hot dating sim. I know I like dating sims.
I find them educational.
Yeah.
You can really learn life lessons on that one specifically. And I will agree with what Countdown's saying in chat. You do not want to miss that. I would love to see that get met.
All right, well, it's time to rally the high chain once again.
Yeah, so on the screen Poahr is entering, there is a green chomp that normally takes 3 eggs to hit, but if you hit them, they will have vulnerability frames and you just get through. You can take it safe and it'll be easy. Poahr kind of just like fell down into it and done it, so. And then fluttering across here. Meanwhile, Yamayuu's getting bullied a bit in this auto scroller still. Nearing the end of it and having a little fun with the chicken force field.
Oh, it's too bad. Yamayuu.
Did he get the mid ring?
That's rough.
Dang. So, oh, we got a second. Oh, sorry.
That is like one of the worst stats you can have.
I distinctly remember like Lee being on PB pace and dying in this stage too. Same sort of situation. Anyway,
I might remember that same death, but yeah, you were saying Darkman.
We did have a $20 donation from I Got Bored. Said donating for Poahr's first try 5-4 and Yamayuu's backup attempt. Put this towards Mario Party 2. Thank you very much for the donation. And Mario Party 2 increases its lead.
To answer the question in chat, the advantage of the Japanese version of the American version of this game is purely like text boxes. To my knowledge, there are no exclusive glitches. Maybe I'm more of the like heavier glitched categories, but Warpless is essentially Yoshi's no major glitches category. And you save roughly a minute on Japanese text. Poahr is on the FIL fight where you ground pound a pole to kind of hit him a bit 3 times. It is I'm not going to say the only instance of RNG, but one of the most noticeable ones. Whether he moves left or right can depend on how early you can hit him. And I know on his first movement, he can just like start moving and stop before you be hittable. And yeah, Poahr is going to be on a long cutscene to World 6. And there's nothing super interesting going on other than that.
by the way, following this run here, I might as well just give you guys a little sneak preview of what's coming up too. We have Wario Land 4, Cave Story is after that. We've got a Rabby Ribby race following Cave Story, and then the Bid War for Mega Man 8. Whether that is played on the Saturn or the PlayStation 1, Your donations will decide that one. That's kind of your graveyard shift schedule here. Some pretty good games actually lurking in the late hours here.
I like this graveyard a lot. It's a pretty strong graveyard. Oh, and I just saw a tweet from Yamayuu, and it translated to, "Really, I'm sorry. There's no need to apologize, Yamayuu. You've done a great job. We appreciate the race."
Yeah, I think one thing we got to point out here too is that there's nothing but love for these guys. You know, we're not gonna hold anything against them if they die here or there in the race. I know going into it, actually, I was seeing Poahr's tweets before, and he was talking about how maybe we were putting too much pressure on them by kind of hyping them up for this race. So hopefully, they don't feel that way.
They put on a great show, so you know, it's definitely lived up to the hype.
A bit of a reminder to the reason of this event. These are two of the runners that the event is raising money for to get to AGDQ. I hope that also did not make them feel like they were the main show at all for the pressure thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is at its heart, it's a community event. Like, we're rallying around it because we all believe that they deserve to be there, and I think the donations are kind of a testament to that. So, it's one race. Anything can happen in this game, especially with the 5-4 skip. I mean, that's just brutal to kind of have a situation where one player gets the first try and the other one's just it's not going their way. So it's for the most part, pretty back and forth race up till that point. I don't blame him.
Yeah, unfortunate things happen. I am still absolutely loving this run. These are two of the best players in the game.
And it almost creates a little bit of a storyline too, which is kind of interesting. Going into AGDQ now, you've got Poahr having a pretty strong showing here in the JRTA race. Yamayuu obviously wanting to kind of get a second crack there at 5-4, and doing 5-4 live. By the way, I've got to feel like that's probably one of the most pressure situations you can be in on the GDQ stage. I mean, talk about a big trick with huge potential to set you back.
Absolutely.
And there's going to be people rooting for you, and that atmosphere in that room is going to be a lot of pressure too.
I can attest to my own personal experiences with 5-4 skip that sometimes I can just get it in practice. The expectation of getting in the run is so far beyond my reach. But I would not blame anyone for missing it or anything. I feel like I've missed a lot of things to talk about, especially in World 6. The first half of World 6, in my opinion, is one of my favorite. Movement is really tight and really smooth and clean to look at. And I've been seeing Poahr's screen, and it's been looking good. 6-3 will be the last level with the fuzzies. Again, a bit difficult to, avoid all the fuzzies, especially considering that they'll be on open platforms and falling is death. Kind of a neat thing with these spinning logs is that if you get hit to them, you kind of get sent up a bit, so you can use that a bit to avoid having to flutter, which is generally slower than holding right. And Poahr makes it through getting hit only near the end of it. Just very well juggled on.
These spinning logs that you see on Poahr's screen, those are nasty too. They can send you just in any direction.
Yeah, you do kind of have to hit them in not a super precise way, but in a specific way to get results from them. And again, like I mentioned, with Raphael being the only instance of randomness in the run, that has a big effect. Let's see what kind of pattern Raphael gives him. And again, Poahr is moving very cleanly through these screens. Coming up on the screen that he will be in. Nice. Yamayuu got pretty good first movement, moving to the right.
Yeah, really clean fight there.
But yeah, Poahr is fighting the key salvo slime. Is key to the locked door at the end of the room, and it's essentially the same boss as it is in 1.8. But in the situation here, you can pretty easily, well, not super easily, but it's more likely to get a 1 round before he has an invulnerability frame. The real danger in that fight is that if he starts hopping to the left, it can get a bit unpredictable.
Oh, up and over in 1.
Grabbing the mid-range for safety here, because this is the famous lava skip trick where we flutter over the lava to save 3 seconds, I believe, is the number thrown around. And I find lava skip still to be a bit of a nervous thing, especially if you get a run to this point. It's less fluttering than 6-4, or 5-4, excuse me, but, you know, this is, you just did 5-4 if you
Right.
want to run to this point.
And it's kind of crazy because I remember, like, for the longest time, lava skip being sort of the intimidating or imposing trick, and I guess, you know, it can still be a little bit, but I feel like when 5-4 showed up, it was almost a reality check, like, okay.
The very clean tap-tap fight. If you line up your egg shots correctly, you can just send them straight into the lava, and Poahr did exactly that.
All right, I am expecting so many tweets right now from Poahr.
Again, Poahr is in the last auto scroller stage where, you know, outside of the Kamek auto scroller at the end of the game, this stage just dedicated to auto scrollers. And unfortunately, on the second screen, you can not load the auto scroller trigger, so you get to avoid that a bit, but I'll touch more on that when we get there. I think more of the focus should be on Yamayuu because he's in 6-2. One of the levels I think that the movement is pretty good with. Kinda showing like the unfortunate thing of getting thrown off your rhythm, get hit by one enemy and you just like maybe not expecting what's happening now.
Yeah, that stage is not afraid to just combo you for a while if you get tripped up.
Oh, wait a second. Just want to remind everybody that coming up right after this is the Wario Land 4 run by Mr. Shasta. So I'll be following that. Now you have Cave Story, Rabby Ribby, and Mega Man 8 after that. So like we mentioned, it's going to be a pretty sick block. So stay tuned for more exciting runs.
Not only that, but keep donating because we still got a ways to go here to reach that goal.
$4,500 before this end of this run. Can you make Golden a happy man?
There are not a lot of things that make me a happy man, but $4,500 in the pot before Yoshi's Island is over. Now that would make me a happy man.
Ooh.
I'm just kidding. I'm pretty happy all around.
Okay.
But it's one of those things you got to sound intimidating.
Yeah, I understand.
Now, I don't know about you, but even though it's a pretty basic thing, the lava pits in the long cave scare me to death every time.
They are absolutely scary because of like what the cost of dying to them is. You land in them there, you have to start at the beginning of the level. There's no mid-ring until.
Do we know how
the second screen?
How long, like time-wise, is this first room? Like, if you were to die at the very end of this room, how much time did you just lose? It's got to be.
I can't give you an exact number, but I want to guess like around 4 minutes.
That's what I was thinking. It's got to be like 4 or 5 minutes, right? It's pretty long.
Okay, so right here, just skip loading the auto scroll trigger. You have to get a perfect jump, which is jumping on the first frame you land, so the game doesn't scroll the screen and load the auto scroll trigger. It took him a bit of a try, but he still got it, no problem. And the auto scroll trigger doesn't load, you can just run through this at full speed. Very well done.
Yamayuu headed to 6-4 to play some Breakout.
So in 6-6 on this first screen, there's kind of this long section to go around pushing this rock so you can get the key. Instead, Poahr is just gonna grab it through the wall way faster than I can even explain it. But pretty much, whenever Yoshi hunts a wall, the tongue kind of stops a bit. But you can set it up in a way so that Yoshi kind of still has like movement to the right and get the tongue to the key. And like doing it, the simple setup is to take the jump run that you're supposed to take all the way around, jump into it so that the rock pushes you. He did a setup where he pretty much just jumps into the wall and
doesn't need the rock at all. Gets rockless first try. That was nasty.
That is like I don't think I can properly explain how difficult that trick is, and to do it just like that is it's blowing my mind right now.
He jumped right down there and got it. That was just disgusting.
I saw him going for rockless, so I was like, alright, it's time to explain it. Nope, done. Right now, he scrolled the screen up so that this spinning platform that he's about to load loads sooner, so that he gets to hop on it a bit sooner and get out of there quicker. The Yamayuu showing the log surfing a bit. You want to stay on the left side of the log and kind of like ride the waves in the lava. And that's a pretty fast way to do it.
I thought this was kind of interesting there. I saw Yamayuu riding the log there.
Yeah. Again, the lava skip isn't like a massive time save, so just no flaw in taking the safe way.
Yep. Let's see how the fight goes there. The solid dumpstering.
We did have a $10 donation from MT who says $10 more for getting best trick first try. So thank you very much, MT, for your donations.
I just want to point out, too, that the reason you have to listen to me on commentary tonight instead of getting to hear MT is that MT decided to play Borderlands. So...
Got him.
Just gotta.
He is still awake, actually. 'Cause I know one thing he was concerned about with commentary was work in the morning.
Yeah, it's pretty late. Appreciate everybody staying up watching JRTA.
Fun little thing Yamayuu's going to be doing with these shy guys coming out of the pipe is that if you get them in your mouth before they're completely out, they kind of hold the momentum. You kind of get to shoot them around a bit. I want to say that that is more of a version exclusive glitch, and it affects speedrunning like not at all really. I mean, I guess it makes this level more entertaining, but coming up on Poahr's screen, he's gonna do a gate hack, not with an egg, but with this enemy. Pretty much with the momentum is kind of stored when you do get an enemy in your mouth, and he can use that to spit it on the other side of the gate and open it for him. And he will be coming up on the final level, 6-8, where, you know, the first screen he's gonna turn into a helicopter unless like the run actually skips that, which I really hope not, because I'm really just out of information in this game. But that's kind of like one of the only vehicle transformation that's still left outside of the sub 3-3.
I was gonna say they've done a really good job of removing the vehicles over the last year or two from this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is actually a really, really good run from Poahr.
Coming up on the spinning doors. There's a. Let me gather my thoughts a bit here.
I think you're trying to say the setup for
There's a setup on the background where you line up the neutral shot, which, when hasty, you can just tap the throw button to throw an egg at essentially the same angle. And yeah, door 4 is kind of like solved, I should say.
Do we have a minute or two?
Oh, we do, definitely, right now.
Both
This is the perfect screen.
Well, that's good, because Golden, I'm also glad that you're awake right now, because I have a very important thing to tell you right now.
Okay.
We have a $28.40 donation from none other than McNuggies420.
No way.
And he says, "Happy JRTA. It's the dankest time of the year. $14.20 eponas. Nami. Nugs. $14.20. Link's name, Nug Rider. McNuggies, thank you."
Oh my god. The return.
He's back.
It feels like JRTA is in full effect right now.
Wow, we had Do the Thing earlier today. We got McNuggies. It's JRTA season, baby. We're back.
Yamayuu getting the auto-scroller skip pretty quickly.
All right, were you able to figure out all those donations, Darkman? There were a lot of or incentives, I mean.
Oh, I got this.
There we go. Glad to have McNuggies back.
Poahr's getting to the end. Auto scroller here, signified by mid-ring. Little kind of fun fact about that door is it's possible to despawn the door if you have too many sprites while the screen is scrolling, and it is a soft lock if you do that, but runners will avoid carrying eggs and letting Kamek create sprites so that doesn't happen. And in this fight here, Baby Bowser is going to be ground pounding the ground, and you're going to want to do the same thing back to him. To set him up, you want to jump on his head and it'll send him to the ground, and you can get a ground pound off. Poahr did get hit, but he managed to recover it and give us what we all want, what we all wait for in this run. I'm really glad that they get to hold that frame a bit while Bowser powers up. Yamayuu also made really quick work in 6-6 when we were watching. And now the final Bowser fight, where you want to be mindful of scrolling the screen to get Shy Guys carrying eggs to spawn as quickly as possible.
Nightmare, look at this pace he's on.
That's the pace. That is insane pace.
This is a marathon run.
It's pretty sick.
He has nailed his egg shots too.
Perfect, yeah.
This is a beautiful Bowser fight.
I think that's it.
One more. And that is that.
Wow.
Now timing ends on the last Xbox that can be sang. And a very smooth roar.
Look, he is sending a message with this run right here.
Did you stop the timer on the explosion?
Yeah.
That's fine. I think I can find somewhere it's just like added a few seconds or so. But yeah, that is a very impressive time.
I'm looking at like 142.37.
That's something around that. Yep. Yeah, MT saying he had 17 seconds. That would be very accurate.
That's really good.
That is insane. The only two people who have times better than that is Poahr himself and Calco. I'm kind of curious, do you have a secondary timer for Yamayuu, or are you just kind of lost on that?
Let me see if I can do this. Oh, yeah, there we go.
Oh, nice. Yeah, Yamayuu had a bit trouble with the gate back there, and it can be really weird with like what enemy you have or trying to open the gate with. So he just went, grabbed another enemy, and got it after he had momentum in his mouth.
And Poahr tweeting about that run too. I mean, you can just tell that was a solid performance, and he knows it.
Yeah, very good run from both our runners here.
Yeah, this is going to be just, I think, a really interesting race at GDQ. You've got, you know, the kind of intercontinental aspect of it. You've got the fact that it's number 1 through number 4. You got, you know, now you've got a little bit of extra backstory here too, with Poahr just dominating in the JRTA race here, showing up and just getting a 142. It's going to be a fun race to watch. And thanks to your donations, everybody. This is looking like it's going to be more and more of a possibility here as we're more than halfway done with the donation total.
Absolutely.
Of course, continue to donate and help us get to that goal. $5 right now would put you in the running to potentially win a copy of this game, the Super Famicom version. And actually, it's a complete in-box copy. And I believe you don't even have to do it this game necessarily. I think that prize is available for the next couple of runs still, correct?
Yes, so the Yoshi's Island prize is going all the way up until Krautel, which is like another 6-ish hours. So you got plenty of time to donate for the Yoshi's Island complete in-box copy.
Excellent.
You know, while we're finishing up, if you are the lucky recipient of that Yoshi's Island copy and you're kind of interested in the speedruns of this game, most of the community resources, if not all of them, are found on our wiki. You can just put yoshi.science into your search bar and it should come up. Really lucked out on that domain. Pretty easy to remember. You have links to the speedrunning Discord for Yoshi's Island and other helpful links.
Well, I just want to say that McNuggets 420 not only inspires all of us as viewers, he inspires the donations. Because we had a $20 donation from Murray, who says, because McNuggies dropped a hot 22, and he wants his donation to go towards the Snatcher Digging Sim. Thank you, Murray, and thank you, McNuggies.
McNuggies, a man of the people.
He is a man of the people.
If McNuggies can donate to this marathon, can you?
I think so.
Very clean Baby Bowser fight coming out from Yamayuu. Giving a little Yoshi lurk behind Baby Bowser as well. We'll see how his final Bowser fight goes as well.
I mean, if you think about Yamayu's run, other than 5-4, which really, you start to kind of cycle there sometimes. Overall, pretty solid performance.
Yeah, just a couple big mistakes, otherwise good run.
Yeah, I mean, it was neck and neck up until that point, so I think it's going to be a compelling race. You're going to have 4 people at AGDQ battling this game out, and we might even see a situation like that happen live where, it's a heated race right up till 5-4, and then it's time to find out who shows up.
I'm really glad those big rocks don't have a hitbox, because that almost gave me a heart attack. Fortunately, the mid-ring before Baby Bowser just is collected automatically when you enter the fight. Yeah, good final Bowser. Be timed very shortly from what I'm seeing. Alright, so I saw the timer at 1:49:55, which is still a very impressive time, considering that he had the mishaps in 5-4, as well as the 5-6 death, which was really costly.
Yeah, the 5-6 one.
Single-handedly minutes on that death, which is just something that happens in Yoshi Island speedrunning. Deaths can be very massive like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I said, I feel like it was just a couple of mistakes that really accounted for. I mean, the time gap looks very big here, but it really just was a couple of things here and there. So, nevertheless, I'm very glad that these two decided to race and showcase the game here. That they will be playing at HDQ.
I'm excited. I'm excited for this race that's going to happen. If we can hit this donation goal, of course.
Yes. Hopefully, you in the chat are also intrigued by it and will consider donating at some point during the marathon here.
We're doing really well. $4,100 raised. It's fantastic. But we're not done. So we still need another $3,300 and change. So please keep your donations coming. But once again, thank you very much for watching.
By the way, also want to thank Nightmare here in the call for basically doing this on a whim. I mean, we didn't really have any commentary going into this race, and you guys are going to have to put up with me otherwise for the whole thing. So,
Yeah, I feel like there definitely would have been better options, but I think timing was a big issue on some of the people who couldn't commentate.
yeah, I mean, I think it worked out pretty well.
Yep. Good job commentating. Moose Mango.
Moose Mango.
All right. Well, we are going to be doing a change in restreamers, so we're going to be getting a new restreamer. So the stream is going to be going down very shortly. Don't freak out. Don't go anywhere. We'll be popping it back up in a minute, so stick around. And our next run is going to be Wario Land 4 by Mr. Shasta.